Hello everybody, it's Dream in Mind here. Welcome back to my channel. We are finally getting a break. Well, sort of at least. The only event we're getting is the ranked mirrors. And of course, we're getting a new magical girl. Sayaka Miki made a early entrance. I will go over her stats, connect Magia, double, and team, and my Magia recommendations. Sayaka is a water magical girl, and as a 5-star she has a max HP of 29,266, a max attack of 7,595, and a max defense of 9,493. Upon release, Sayaka will have the highest HP out of all 5-star water magical girls and the other 5 stars. However, she almost has the lowest attack stat out of all 5-star water magical girls and the other 5 stars. Finally, her defense is once again very high when compared to the other 5-star water magical girls and the other 5 stars in general. Upon release, Sayaka's defense is only below Kokoro's. She is a defense type and her growth and leveling is focused on her attack. When looking at the discs, we can see that she has 2 charge discs, 1 horizontal blast disc, and 2 excel discs. Her MP gain is decent. With a excel charge excel combination you can earn around 30 MP. Let's move on to her connect Magia and double. Sayaka's connect is called This Is My Entry. Depending on the rarity, she regenerates the HP of the targeted ally between 8 to 10% for 3 turns and also increases their attack between 35% to 40%. Her Magia, Prestissimo Agitato, deals damage to one enemy. As a 4-star this is between 680 and 720%, and as a 5-star this is between 720 and 760% depending on her Magia level. She also grants herself survive, meaning that she will survive one fatal attack with 1 HP and she will heal her own HP afterwards. As a 4-star she will heal 30% of her HP, and as a 5-star she will heal 35% of her HP. The effect can last for 3 turns. She also gives herself a 100% chance to land a critical hit for 2 turns, and finally, only as a 5-star, she also grants herself counter for 2 turns. Naturally, her double is Octavia von Seckendorf, the double of Love Struck. She deals damage of 1760% to a single enemy, grants herself survive, and after surviving the enemy attack with 1 HP, she will heal 40% of her own HP. The effect will last for 3 turns. She also gives herself a 100% chance to land a critical hit for 2 turns and the counter status, also for 2 turns. Sayaka is another permanent water magical girl, and when we look at her stats, she has high HP and defense while having a fairly low attack. So basically she is a tank. Let's see how good that role fits her. While being a tank, Sayaka is not really your traditional tank. None of her skills have a provoke buff or a defense cut. For example, her connect is nothing special, it simply regenerates HP and increases the attack of the targeted ally. The 10% heal for 3 turns is a fair amount and the attack boost is always nice. However, you can say it doesn't really fit her role as a tank. At the same time, you can connect with much more allies because the connect itself doesn't has much to do with her role as a tank. Of course, you can use the connect on tanks as well. Usually they have a low attack stat and will therefore be able to have a little more firepower for 1 turn. Now that I've mentioned that, upon release, Sayaka will have the highest attack stat out of all the tanks. This will change later, but for a tank, her attack stat isn't too bad. Sayaka's Magia only has buffs for her own. You could say that it makes her a little selfish, but this is what essentially makes her a tank. The survive ability is extremely nice because it will allow her to survive 1 fatal hit and even get healed back to a decent amount afterwards. Naturally, this will make her last much longer in battle, as it can be used over and over if you manage to get her MP bar back to 100 quickly, while getting hit and possibly activating that survive ability. Sayaka will also counter the attack. These two abilities make her a solid tank. But that's not everything. She also increases her own chance to land a critical hit by 100%, allowing her to deal much more damage with her normal attacks. I believe the counter attacks don't profit from the buff, but it will help you defeating the enemies much quicker. The buff lasts for 2 turns, so within those 2 turns just use her discs as much as possible to profit from it as much as possible. This all seems to make Sayaka a tank who can be a bit hard to defeat thanks to her survive ability, while also focusing slightly on increasing the damage of her allies and her own. Does this work out for her? Yes, a bit. Her connect, while it can be useful to everyone, is nothing special and nothing strong in particular. It basically falls in between her being a tank while also focusing on increasing and dealing damage. But her Magia and the added buffs are great. Her critical hits and the counter attacks can seriously hurt the enemy. Because Sayaka has only one blast disc and has a single target Magia, she doesn't really work against a boss who takes up multiple squares on the field or as a wave clearer, but she is great against small bosses who take up only one square on the field. Sayaka can be useful in PvP. She is great to absorb damage, but has the disadvantage of having only one blast disc and a not so useful connect. Now let's move on to team recommendations. Because Sayaka's connect is useful for everybody and the buffs given by her Magia only count for herself, she can fit in a variety of teams. But as usually, I will give some recommendations with whom Sayaka can work greatly. Kirika is one of those. Kirika is a tank herself who can help Sayaka with fulfilling her own role as a tank better. Since Sayaka can easily absorb damage with her high HP and defense, Kirika's connect works great on her. With Kirika's connect, Sayaka gets the provoke and counter buff, so she protects the team while dealing damage back to the enemies who attacked her. Sayaka will also barely get hurt by the enemies because of the defense buff that Kirika's connect also provides. This can also greatly work in combination with Sayaka's Magia as well. The survive ability makes sure that Sayaka doesn't get defeated herself and keeps provoking and countering. In return, Sayaka can help Kirika to deal a little bit more damage thanks to her connect. The two basically complement each other. The only problem with them is that their discs don't synergize that well, but a third party member could fix this. Another option is to bring her friend Madoka with her. She can be a great support for Sayaka because she not only heals but also restores MP with her connect, allowing Sayaka to get a little bit closer to Magia spamming and make more use of her buffs coming from her Magia. While their discs are not completely the same, they do work together nicely, and most important is to have those XL discs ready for the Magia spamming. Madoka also offers a 3-turn damage cut with her Magia, making Sayaka more tanky, and Sayaka's connect can also heal Madoka since she is unable to heal herself and give her attack a slight boost, which is always nice and useful. Are you looking for another support who can help Sayaka to be even more tanky? Don't look any further than Umika. She is a welfare magical girl from the Another Days event, so many of us have her. Her connect can both heal and give Sayaka a damage cut, therefore making her more tanky. Do note, when Sayaka has the survive ability on, a status ailment like burn can still defeat her. Sometimes such status ailments can even last several turns, and this is where Umika is another big help. Her Magia also removes all status ailments and will allow Sayaka to really survive. Sayaka's personal Memoria, Moving Melody, gives her upon activation a monopolized draw, which means that you will only get Sayaka's discs. This can be useful to build up the MP bar, but I suggest only using it if you have multiple Memoria slots for your Sayaka. The cooldown isn't that great, and I think it would be better to focus on enhancing her discs stats or make her more tanky. That said, as usually, those days are gone and walking the same path are great Memorias. Use those days are gone when you know or plan to use Sayaka's Magia often. If you plan to use her Magia a little bit less and want to focus on increasing her attack, walking the same path would be better. Both Memorias also regenerate HP, so Sayaka can keep her HP high, which makes her more tanky. If you want Sayaka to focus more on her role as a tank, you can use Recovery and Resolve, Non-stop Training, or Quiet Morning Practice. Recovery and Resolve will give Sayaka a huge defense boost, and she will guard and protect her allies from enemy attacks for one turn and will take the hit herself. Non-stop Training will also give Sayaka a defense boost and the Provoke ability for one turn. Naturally, this can be used anytime, but it can also be used in combination with her Magia buffs. Her Magia gives her the counter buff, so in combination with this Memoria, you can make the most out of the counter buff. Quiet Morning Practice would be the 3-star alternative Memoria for this. It only gives a Provoke buff, but it can be used the same way as the Non-stop Training Memoria. For the future, you will want to look out for the third magical girl. This Memoria increases MP gain from XL discs and damage done by charged discs. So you will be enhancing 4 of Sayaka's 5 discs. This Memoria will be available during the Chimin Belt at Transcends Time event. In conclusion, Sayaka is a tank that can be hard to defeat, and while being a tank she also focuses on dealing damage. While her attack stat is still low, the crit and counter buff make up for that and makes her work slightly better. So are you rolling for Sayaka and what do you think of her? Feel free to let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you did. You can also follow me on Twitter, link is in the description below, as well as my Magia Record player IDs if you wish to follow me. The IDs really are in the description this time. Have a good morning, afternoon, night, or whatever your time zone is, and I hope to see you next time.